of Global TV News Prime. Federal government commissions Phase 2 water treatment plant at Lower Usmana Dam. In Business Revenue Commission commences fresh allocation formula. And on the foreign scene, Israel insists on release of all hostages in Gaza deal. In sports, Nigeria-born Benin's football striker Razak Motoyosi dies at 39. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. The federal government, in partnership with the Federal Capital Territory Administration, that is FCTA, has stepped up efforts to expand infrastructure and provide residents of the capital city with clean, safe water. As part of the renewed Hope agenda, the FCTA has commissioned the rehabilitated Phase 2 water treatment plant at Lower Usman Dam in Ushafa. Kabir Hassan reports.
The commissioning ceremony at the Lower Usman Dam drew dignitaries who praised President Bola Tinubu's commitment to ensuring water availability across Abuja. For years, the dam has been a major water source for the FCT, but with a growing population and rising demand, Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, says the newly completed Phase 2 treatment facility will boost supply and maintain safety standards and ease water scarcity.
But by the New Hope agenda of Mr. President, the directive was given that water is life, water is an essential service that we must have to carry out to the residents of Abuja. And this Phase 2, very important because it will increase the carrying capacity and of course will improve water supply to the residents of Abuja.
Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmoud Bunkure, described the project as a proof of government's resolve to improve basic amenities, stressing that access to clean water is a fundamental right.
This is an effort for us to provide a sustainable access to clean, potable and safe water for the residents of FCT. On behalf of His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Wike, the people of FCT and also good people of FCT in general, I want to express our gratitude to His Excellency, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju.
The contractors assured that the facility will operate at full capacity, delivering durable service to residents of the FCT.
We are proud of the successful completion of this rehabilitation works, for which we are confident that the quality of potable water will now meet, if not exceed, international standards, thereby enhancing the well-being and quality of life of the citizens. We wish to extend our deepest appreciations to His Excellency, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR.
The commissioning of the water treatment plant is expected to mark a turning point for water distribution in Abuja, with government assuring residents of improved access to clean water. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
The federal government has launched a new youth empowerment initiative aimed at tackling climate change through circular economy. The program, introduced by the Ministry of Youth Development, will train Nigerian youths in recycling and waste management, with a focus on textile, plastic, glass and paper. Ubon Usoro completes the story.
The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Youth, has unveiled a digital platform to empower Nigerian youth with skills in textile, plastic, glass, and paper recycling. The Minister of Youth Development, while unveiling the platform, mentioned that Nigeria generates over 30 million tons of waste every year, a challenge the government believes can be turned into an opportunity for innovation and sustainable development.
Today is another step for the efforts to put into action a key part of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Renew Hope agenda. We may be coming up with this, like I said before. We may be coming up with different initiatives, and we are working towards how to get it to the root, because the majority of us are on the root, and this is the first time we're having it so special.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs said the initiative will not only empower young people with employment opportunities, but also contribute significantly to the nation's climate action goals.
Well, for me today, it's a day that one can say is well celebrated. I'm just coming from the UN House, where we celebrated the World Humanitarian Day. It's a day meant to honor all those individuals who want to stand with people at point of conflict, disaster, risk, to reduce and cushion the effect of whatever condition they find themselves.
I'm here, I've been directed to represent the DG Nigeria, who is unavoidably absent, and the DG expresses his regret to not being present here, but he has asked that I represent him and present his keynote address.
Delivering the keynote on the topic Waste to Wealth, Raising a Generation of Environmental Stewards, the Director General of the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESDRA, Professor Innocent Bariko, represented by Shola Omotoshi, said the initiative reinforced NESDRA's mission of protecting the environment while driving a secular economy that creates opportunity for Nigerian youths. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has called on government at state and local levels to challenge the narrative in flood mitigation across the nation. The Speaker made the call at the inauguration of the Ad Hoc Committee on Flood Management and Response in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
Flooding has become a recurring and devastating challenge across many parts of Nigeria, as each year, lives are lost, properties destroyed, livelihoods disrupted, and the socio-economic fabric of entire communities severely affected. The Speaker, who was ably represented by the House Majority Leader, Professor Julius Nwubere, says this is no longer a seasonal inconvenience. It is a national emergency that demands urgent, coordinated and strategic action.
This ritual we perform every year. It is time for it to stop, and I'm hoping that this committee will do that. Every government at the local and state level, they know the flood is coming. They know, and sometimes they are using it to fleece the federal government because the presidency gives them money. Ecological fund, there's flood coming, 3 billion. Not one thing is done.
The Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs, Yusuf Sununu, commends the 10th House for its proactive approach to natural disasters. He laments over the flooding impacts on the internally displaced persons and farmers. He added that the ministry is putting in measures to reduce the weight of vulnerable groups, with over 5 million Nigerians being given the compulsory cash to mitigate hardship meted on them.
More farmland are submerged and therefore leading to a lot of displacement and loss of those farmland. And in the end, after even the floods is gone, you find that areas of farms that normally you can cultivate is now becoming sandy field, thereby affecting also arable land that we can use to this. And I said on our own part as ministry, we are doing our effort to reduce the impact of such this into our food security.
The newly inaugurated chairman of the committee, Midala Balami, stressed the need for a comprehensive national framework, one that encompasses prevention, early warning systems, emergency response, community resilience, infrastructure development, and climate adaptation strategies.
The time for piecemeal approaches has passed and is long overdue. What we need now and what we are going to do is that we are going to have a kind of an urgent and multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary approach. This approach will include harnessing our potentials and our resources.
Stakeholders from the National Emergency Management, Ministry of Water Resources, Health, Fire Services, Hydrological Agency and Meteorological Agency all pledged their support to the committee, saying it is the right step in the right direction owing to the loss of lives across the states due to flood. Annie T. Patrick, report.
The International Federation of the Red Cross has urged Nigeria's private sector to step in and support humanitarian efforts following a funding shortfall occasioned by the exit of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The call was made in an interview with Global Television as part of activities commemorating this year's World Humanitarian Day. Global TV's Sarau Nassim reports.
World Humanitarian Day is observed globally to raise awareness about humanitarian work and the importance of international cooperation in civil lives. In an interview with Program Coordinator, International Federation of the Red Cross, Gloria Kunyanga, emphasized that as an umbrella body overseeing different humanitarian organizations, the Nigerian Red Cross plays a vital role in responding to the needs of vulnerable communities. She urged private organizations to provide resources that will help close existing funding gaps and strengthen humanitarian services.
We are also lobbying to our private sectors in Nigeria if they can also come and support different organizations, then we should be able to cover this gap. It might take time, but if we work together, we should be able to win it.
Meanwhile, some Nigerians interviewed called on citizens to also play their part by volunteering and engaging more in humanitarian services, noting that many people remain in their need.
Is to render service to human, to be accessible when the need arises for you to help humanity. It means that if I'm in position to assist, to help the needy, the less privileged, I should be able to do that.
It is a work of charity, and it is a work to leave marks on the sand of history. People are being rejuvenated, people who are passing through one issue or the other, people who are financially trapped, people who are in one level of infection or sickness or the other, or who are suffering from natural factor like a flood, like an earthquake. Organizations are registered, they call them non-governmental organizations.
Human beings are supposed to care for one another as you feel on yourself. So you can take care of another person like that. I think that's what I understand for humanitarian value of another person. That is important.
Each year, World Humanitarian Day adopts a theme to unite global partners in protecting human dignity, supporting crisis-affected people, and ensuring the safety of aid workers. This year's theme is strengthening global solidarity and empowering local communities. Local communities are not only vital to the growth of society, but they also form the bedrock of humanitarian development. This year, the message is clear. Global partners have a key responsibility in driving humanitarian initiatives in local communities. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Faith and Freedom Africa has called for the greater unity and respect for freedom of religion belief in Nigeria. Stakeholders say this is key to strengthening national oneness and reducing communal clashes. The call was made at the Federal Freedom of Religion or Belief Stakeholders Seminar held in Abuja. Our correspondent, Anita Patrick, reports.
Cases of human rights violations are on the rise globally, with religion often at the center of conflicts. Freedom of religion or belief says forum like this aims to tackle religious extremism and intolerance in Nigeria. Addressing participants, Nigerian contractor for Faith and Freedom Africa, Felix Samari, stressed the need to uphold the constitutional right to freedom of religion as a foundation for peace and unity.
The idea of FOB is to ensure that everyone, whether you are a minority, you are protected to practice your own religion. And so what we do in Faith and Freedom is to educate people more on this fundamental right. And so that the majority religion, wherever they found themselves, they will also be aware that it is the right of the minority to practice their religion.
Religious leaders from both the Christian and Muslim faiths agreed that intolerance must be addressed from the grassroots, warning against the imposition of beliefs and the dangers of fake news, which fuels mistrust among citizens.
If you are sincere as a human being, you should be able to understand that there are some things that you cannot change. You and I happen to practice, perhaps happen to be practicing the religion we are practicing today because our parents practice that religion. And we should know that we cannot be the same in all ramifications. So when you have this understanding, this should be able to propel you to understanding that we are in a global community where we have diverse views or on opinion, on association.
Religious intolerance has been a driver of violent conflicts, like we said, like you mentioned. So peace and security, very important. It matters that we should be at peace with each other. In fact, it promotes good governance. This democracy that we are talking about, if we do not have freedom of religion, which is one of the major fundamental human rights, then there won't be any democracy that we are claiming that we have any democracy. Also speaking, Professor Daudu Abubakar, a lecturer of religion and philosophy at the University of Jos, noted that religious leaders remain highly trusted in communities and must use their influence to promote tolerance and unity.
This project is very important in such a way that it will bring enlightenment to people to understand the need, to understand one another, and also give people the chance to practice what they believe. Islam and Christianity, especially as dominant religions, none of them emphasize that all people must belong to one religion.
Stakeholders therefore charge Nigerians to embrace mutual respect, unity, and peaceful coexistence, while organizations like FOB continue to champion conversations around the right to freedom of belief and religion. Anie Patrick, reporting for Global Television.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma says his administration remains committed to delivering quality infrastructure. The governor gave the assurance while inspecting key projects in Owerri, including Concord Hilton Hotel, Emmanuel Iwanyango International Conference Center, and the Azumta flyover. Imo State correspondent Amarachi Ibe completes the story.
At the Concord Hilton Hotel, Governor Uzodinma noted that reconstruction work is already transforming the facility into a modern hospitality landmark. He stressed that the project, once completed, will significantly raise hospitality standards in the state.
I'm almost sure that before the month of November, the hotel will be ready for servicing and open to the public, which to me is a very big achievement because Imo people are very happy and excited with the recovery of this facility and what is more, attracting a world-class chain like Hilton Hotels to manage the hotel. I think it is okay.
The governor also visited the Emmanuel Iwanyango International Conference Center and the Asanta flyover. He highlighted milestones achieved at the conference center and pointed to the steady progress on the flyover superstructure, drainage, and access road. He applauded contractors for maintaining both quality and timelines.
The center is world class. You also you saw for yourself the quality of construction demonstrated at the flyover at Azumta roundabout. So, and what is more, that the job is being completed within record time is also very encouraging. We will do more. We need to recover and address all the infrastructural gaps that exist in Imo State so that we can have a very robust economy that will really lead to prosperity we appreciate.
Governor Uzodinma appreciates the sustained support from the federal government, saying that Imo State is on a course to witness a new phase of development, thereby improving lives of its residents. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe reporting for Global TV News.
Let's go on a quick break. After this break, News Prime return for the rest of the story. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now to the world of business. Investment research and advisory firm Afrinvest has cast doubt on President Bola Tinubu's ambition projection that Nigeria's economy would quadruple to $1 trillion by 2030, citing inflation, low oil output, and persistent power sector challenges as major obstacles. At the recently concluded BRICS summit in Brazil, President Tinubu declared that Nigeria's real GDP growth would reach 7.0% by 2027, and that by 2030, the economy would expand fourfold from its current size of $251 billion to $1 trillion. His projection followed the rebasing of the country's GDP and a series of economic reforms rolled out since mid-2023. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has identified poor electricity supply as a major challenge, stalling Nigeria's electric mobility transition. The agency also pointed to high cost of electric vehicles and limited infrastructure as key barriers. Speaking at a webinar organized by the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Mokaila Oseni situated Nigeria's electric vehicles journey within a global context, referencing the International Energy Agency's forecast of 145 million electric vehicles worldwide by 2030. He also said the barriers slowing electric vehicles adoption in Nigeria includes high vehicle cost, limited charging infrastructure, unreliable grid electricity, and low public awareness. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has commenced a fresh review of the formula for allocation of the national revenue among the three tiers of government. Disclosing this at a press briefing in Abuja, the chairman of the commission, Dr. Mohammed Shehu, stated that the commission has resolved to initiate the process of reviewing the revenue allocation formula to reflect energy socio-economic realities. The current formula stands at 52.68% for states, while 26.72% and 20.60% goes to the federal, states, and local governments respectively. Now to the foreign scene. A senior Israeli official says the government stands on its call for the release of all hostages in any future Gaza deal, after Hamas accepted a new truce proposal. Mediators are awaiting an official Israeli response to the plan, a day after Hamas signaled its readiness for a fresh round of talks aimed at ending nearly 2 years of war. Mediator Qatar expressed guarded optimism for the new proposal, noting that it is almost identical to an earlier version agreed by Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has faulted President Emmanuel Macron in a letter blaming the French leader's move to recognize a Palestinian state for fueling anti-Semitism. Late last month, Macron said France would formally recognize a Palestinian state during a UN meeting in September, drawing a swift rebuke from Israel by announcing the move. France was set to join a growing list of nations to recognize statehood for the Palestinians since Israel launched a bombardment of Gaza nearly 2 years ago in response to Hamas' shock attack. Now to the world of sports. Nigeria-born Beninese international Razak Omotoyosi has passed away at the age of 39 through the cause of death has not yet been revealed. Omotoyosi, who was born in Nigeria but represented Benin in the international stage, rose to become one of the country's most celebrated football icons. He earned 55 caps and scored 21 goals for Squirrels, ranking among their all-time top scorers. Arsenal have been handed a boost in their hopes of signing Rodrigo from Real Madrid this summer transfer window. Rodrigo has been a long-time target of Arsenal, but a move has not yet happened. The Brazilian had been linked with Manchester City as a potential replacement for Savio, who had also been linked with a move to Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur. And that's it on Global TV News Prime. Here's a recap of our top stories. The federal government, in partnership with the Federal Capital Territory Administration, has stepped up efforts to expand infrastructure and provide residents of the capital city with clean, safe water. In business, the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has commenced a fresh review of the formula for allocation of the national revenue among the 3 tiers of government. And on the foreign scene, the federal government, in partnership with the Federal Capital Territory Administration, has stepped up efforts to expand infrastructure and provide residents of the capital city with clean, safe water. In sports, Nigerian-born Beninese international Razak Omotoyosi has passed away at the age of 39, though the cause of death has not yet been revealed. Before we end the News Prime, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NJ. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.